He was failed by everyone. Then, hundreds began to disappear. 1. A child born into chaos. Daniel Rojas was born in 1956 in a remote rural area of Central America. His childhood was unstable from the very beginning. His mother survived by selling her body. She already had multiple children from different men. Daniel never knew who his father was. There was no structure, no emotional bond, no protection. By the time Daniel was 8 years old, his life collapsed completely. After a violent incident inside the family, his mother beat him and threw him out of the house. Permanently. No police report, no social services, no questions asked. An 8-year-old child became homeless overnight. Part 2. The First Betrayal. Living on the streets meant hunger, fear, and constant danger. One evening, an adult man approached Daniel and offered him food and a place to sleep. Daniel agreed without hesitation. That decision changed everything. The man took him to an abandoned building. For months, Daniel was abused repeatedly. Sometimes other adults were involved. There was no escape, no help, no witnesses. Eventually, Daniel managed to run away. But what was done could not be undone. Part 3. Hope that didn't last. Daniel eventually made his way to a large city. He begged for food. He slept wherever he could. One day, a foreign couple noticed him and decided to help. They brought him into a shelter connected to a school for displaced children. For a moment, it looked like Daniel might finally be safe. But once again, the system failed him. At 12 years old, he was abused by someone in a position of authority. That was the moment Daniel stopped trusting adults entirely. He ran away again, taking money just to survive. Part 4. The Road to Crime. Over the next several years, Daniel drifted deeper into crime. Petty theft turned into car theft. Car theft turned into organized criminal activity. By the time he was 18, violence no longer shocked him. Around that time, Daniel tracked down the man who had abused him years earlier. What happened next was brutal. The man did not survive. Daniel was arrested. Part 5. Prison did not fix him. The court acknowledged Daniel's traumatic childhood and handed down a relatively light sentence. Prison, however, became another nightmare. Other inmates learned about his past and assaulted him repeatedly. This time, Daniel fought back. He killed 3 inmates and permanently injured another. His sentence was extended. By the time he was released, something inside him was irreversibly broken. Part 6. Hate finds a target. After prison, Daniel left the country. He settled in a different region under a new identity. This is where the murders truly began. At first, women disappeared, then teenage girls, then children. His method was simple. He approached victims calmly. He offered small gifts. He gained trust, and then they vanished. Authorities initially believed it was human trafficking, but they were wrong. Part 7. When bodies surfaced. After heavy flooding in the area, the truth emerged. Shallow graves were exposed. Human remains surfaced, dozens of them. Entire communities realized they were dealing with a serial killer, one operating openly and without fear. The number of missing children grew so fast that panic spread across multiple regions. Even criminal organizations reportedly wanted him eliminated because of the attention he attracted. Part 8. The Arrest. Daniel was eventually arrested after a failed abduction. At first, police had little evidence, so they used an undercover informant in his cell. Within days, Daniel started talking, and he didn't stop. He described locations, he described methods, he described numbers. He led investigators to mass graves. In one location alone, dozens of victims were found. Daniel claimed the total number exceeded 300. Part 9. The Words That Froze the Room. During interrogation, Daniel showed no remorse. When asked why he targeted children, his response shocked investigators. "I wanted to be the first and the last person they ever trusted." Psychological evaluations confirmed he understood exactly what he had done. He was declared legally sane. Part 10. A sentence that made no sense. Despite the scale of his crimes, the law imposed a hard limit, the maximum sentence available, 20 years. That is what he received, even after stating that he would kill again if released. Part 11. Disappearing Act. What happened next remains unclear. Some sources claim he was transferred to a psychiatric facility. Others believe he was quietly released years later. Investigative journalists suggest he disappeared entirely. No official confirmation exists. At one point, his name appeared in a record book as one of the most prolific killers in history. The entry was later removed after public backlash. Final thoughts. Daniel Rojas was responsible for unimaginable suffering. Nothing excuses what he did, but his story raises uncomfortable questions. How many times can a system fail a child before that child becomes a danger to everyone else? Violence created violence, and once it began, no one knew how to stop it.